Alrighty, so welcome to the first lesson for Intro to Statistics. This is topic 4, which encompasses statistics as well as probability. So we're going to start out very basic with something that you guys have done before, and it is called the mean. Okay, so mean is the same thing as the average, and there are two symbol notations. One of them is with an X with a bar over it, or it's like a little fancy U. It can look like an M for mean. So there are two symbols for mean. Okay. So how do you find mean? You know this, right? Take all these numbers, add them up, right? So there's a plus sign, plus sign, plus sign, plus sign, plus sign, plus sign, and then you divide by the number of numbers. So in this case, there are 9 numbers. So you could literally just add them up and divide it by 9 and get 16.5 repeating. I do want to show you another way to do this on the calculator. So you can go like this. Let's turn our calculator on. Let's clear what's there. So you hit the stat button, which is under delete. Hit option number 1, which is edit. Plug your numbers there under L1. And again, you should be doing this with me. If I'm going too fast, slow me down or pause me. Stat, go over to calc. Option number 1 is 1 bar stats. Frequency means that we have like, oh, there's 10 15s or 43 17-year-olds, right? So that's when you would have like an L2, but we don't. So we're just going to hit calculate and it'll give us our mean, right? So mean again is X with the line over it, which is our first one, which says 16.5 repeating, okay? I want you to go ahead and pause the video and do this question, this example. So example has 2, 2.5, 4.8, 6.1, and 0.5. Find the mean of that. So pause the video right now. When you do this, you should get 3.18 is your mean if you did that correctly. So this is just refreshing your memory about what mean means. My math teacher said I was average. How mean? Okay. All right. So median. Key thing to remember in a median is what the pro tip is. You have to put the numbers in in order. So put the numbers in order. Okay. That's the pro tip. So what do I mean by that, right? Here in the set of data, we have 0.5 first. So that is the smallest number. I usually just cross it out. Then comes 2, cross it out. Then comes 2.5, right? Cross it out. Then comes 4.8, cross it out. Then comes 6.1, okay? So median is the number that appears in the middle, right? So if there's one here, second one, the second one, and the number that's in the middle is 2.5. So the median is 2.5. I want to refresh your memory, okay? What if you have two numbers in the middle? Like, for example, you had another 6.1 here. Let me see if I can get rid of these things that I drew. Yes, I can. So if I have two numbers in the middle, right? 1, 1, 2, 2, and these two are in the middle, what you have to do is you have to find the average of them. So add them up and divide it by 2, and that'll give you the median, okay? But since we did not have that 6.1 there, our median here was literally just 2.5. It's the number that's in the middle, okay? And again, your calculator can give you this. So if I go back to this, if I scroll down here to see MED, that stands for median, okay? So for our first set of data, our median was 17. All right. So mode is the number that appears the most. That's what mode is, right? So if I had 7, 5, 5, 8, 3, 7, 2, 7, 7, right? I know that the mode has to be 7 because it appears the most, okay? There you can have a set of data that is bimodal. So if you had another 5 and another 5, right? So then the mode would be 7 and 5 because they both appear the most, okay? Percentile. So I know we're doing a bunch of definitions. This is a good place to start just to make sure we're all on the same page. If admin comes to you or somebody tells you, okay, hey, you are in the 90th percentile. If you're in the 90th percentile, what that means is 90% of the students are lower than you, right? You are in the 90th percentile. So if this is 100, then you are here, 90th, right? That means that all these students here fall below you, okay? If you are in the 38th percentile, that means that 38% of students have a grade that's lower than you, okay? So that's how you read percentiles, just to refresh your memory about percentiles. All right. Quartiles kind of sounds like quarter a little bit, right? So there's first quartile, which is the 25th, second quartile, which is the 50th, and third quartile, which is the 75th. So 25% of data is below this. The second quartile is the same thing as the median, just to refresh your memory. And you can call this Q1, this is called Q3, and this is the median, okay, second quartile. Um, it's very rarely called Q2, but it's mostly called the median. All right, so just to refresh your memory about what this means, if I were to draw a box and whisker plot, okay, I know this is a little bit of a throwback. If I were to draw a box and whisker plot of this set of data that we have right here, which is what I plugged in my calculator. Let's go down. So what I would do here is I would make sure that my numbers are on a scale. So I'd have like 15, I'd have 16, I want to evenly space this, 17, 18, and 19. I did my best trying to evenly space, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a box and whisker plot given the data that I have. So I notice that my min is 15. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to 15 and I'm going to put my the minimum, okay, which is right there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my Q1. So Q1 is 15.5. So I'm going to go to 15.5 and that's where my box is going to start, okay? I'm going to end my box at Q3. So I'm going to go down. Q3 is 17.5. So this is where my box is going to end. So I'm going to make my box like this, right? So this is, again, Q1. This is Q3. What's my median? My MED is 17. So there's going to be a line right here at 17. And what is my max? Let's go down. My max is 18. So I'm going to end my box and whisker right at 18. Okay. So this is how I build my box and whisker plot. Let me just show you real quick in different color. So this is my min. This is my max. This is my Q1. This is my Q3. And this is my median. Okay. That's how you build a box and whisker plot. Make sure that your scale is properly spaced. I don't know if I did a good job, but overall, I think you get the point. All right. So interquartile range, this is in your formula booklet. You don't need to memorize this, but it's Q3 minus Q1. So if I said, what is the interquartile range of this set of data here? So we're going to do Q3 minus Q1 just to show you or show the person that I know what I'm doing. So Q3 is my 75th percentile, which is 79. So this number is my Q3. So I'm going to do 79 minus my Q1, right? So this number right here is my Q1 because that's my 25th percentile. So 79 minus 42 is equal to 37. So my IQR is 37, right? Boom. All right. Now, what the corn is an outlier? So an outlier is basically when we, well, why don't we do orange out? Okay, so it's like, how do I know if something is here, like on this side, or how do I know something's here? Is not within my box and whisker plot. How do I know that it's not from my min to my max? Okay, and so there is a formula. Of course, there's a formula. This is math. Okay, there's a formula for that. So the formula is right here. These two formulas you're gonna have to memorize. Okay, you have to memorize this, unfortunately. So if I said to you, what is my lower outlier, right? How do I tell if something is a lower outlier? what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and my formula for my lower is Q1 minus 1.5 times my IQR. So I'm going to do that for the data that I had above. So my Q1, let me go back to my calculator, right? My Q1 is 15.5, so I'm going to do 15.5 minus 1.5 times my IQR is Q3 minus Q1, right? So 17.5 minus 15.5, that is 2. So I'm going to multiply it by 2. So that's to find any number that's below my box and whisker plot. So let's just do this. 15.5 minus 1.5 times 2. Okay, so that's 12.5. So what does that mean, right? If any number, going back to this, if any number is below 12.5, right? If any number is below 12.5, then it's considered an outlier. So if it was like, if I have a set of data right here and this is at 1, then that is an outlier. Why? Because it is less than the number that we just got right now, which is 12.5. Okay, so now let's go to the other range of it. So for my Q3, let's do brown. Okay, so for my Q3, how do I tell something is an outlier on the upper side? I do Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR, right? So in this case, my Q3 is, going back, stat, right? Go back to calc, 1 bar stats. And I know I could just go look up, but whatever, I want to show you. So Q3 is 17.5, so I do 17.5 plus 1.5. My IQR is still 2, so now I plug that into the calculator. So I go like this, I go 17.5. I was trying to use a shortcut, but it's all good. 1.5 times 2. And so the higher number that I can have is 20.5. So if any number like 30, 50, 100, then that is considered an outlier because it's way out of my box and whisker plot. All right. This formula is no biggie. If you're going to do an IA, an internal assessment about mean, then you can go ahead and use that. Last thing we're going to do is, what if you don't have a number for the height? You have a range of numbers like 0 to 10, 10 to 14, 14 to 18, 18 to 22. So what we do here is we're going to find the number in the middle because it's hard to find, like, you have 5 numbers between 0 to 10, you don't know what the number is. So we're just going to find the number that's in the middle. Okay, so let's just say here's height, here's frequency. So between 0 and 10 is 5. Let's just say you didn't know that or you had a hard time figuring that out. All you have to do is take the two numbers, 0 plus 10, add them up, divide by 2. So 0 plus 10 is 10, divided by 2 is 5. Boop. The number between 10 and 14 is 12. And again, if you didn't know that, 10 plus 14 divided by 2. The number between 14 and 18 is 16, and the number between 18 and 22 is 20. Okay, so I'm going to put the numbers on the bottom. These are given. All right, now how do I plug this into my calculator? So I want to find the mean, right? I'm just going to go ahead and reset my calculator. Second plus 712. That way I don't have to sit there and like try to clear anything. So go to stat, go to edit, and I'm going to plug these numbers in, right? So 5, 12, 16, 20, enter, and then I'm going to go to the L2 and 5, 2, 1, and 2. Okay, so now I have a frequency, so keep that in mind. Hit stat, go to calc, option number 1 again, right? We're never going to do 2-bar stats. So my L1 is there, but my L2 is not there. So you hit second and the 2 button. See above 2, there's an L2. And then you go hit enter, enter, and it'll give you the mean. So the mean is 10.5. So that is the mean dinosaur height, 10.5. And our unit is meters. So 10.5 meters is my answer. Okay. What is the standard deviation? So again, it's here. Standard deviation is This OX, do you see above n equals 10? There's an OX there. So my standard deviation is 6.05. So OX is equal to 6.05. And we're going to go ahead and figure out dinosaurs who are 2 standard deviations above the mean are considered giants. Determine what sorry, that just scared the poop out of you. Um, yeah, we're almost done. So dinosaurs who are 2 standard deviations above the mean. So what we have to do is we have to take the mean and add, right, above the mean, 2 standard deviations above it. So let's do that, right? So the mean is 10.5, and we're going to do 10.5 plus 2 times our standard deviation is 6.05. And this is something that we can very easily plug into our calculator, right? So I go 10.5 plus 2 times 6.05. Okay, close those parentheses and hit enter, and we get 22.6. So the minimum height, and this is meters, the 22.6 is the minimum height the dinosaurs would have to be so that they're considered giants. All right. So last thing, just real quick, is why should we care? So when it comes to biology, psychology, sports, environmental studies, right, we always deal with frequency. We deal with some trying to find out some statistics, some data about these, and that's why we should definitely care. I am going to ask us to try these problems, right? For this one right here, for number 4, this is very similar to what we just did, right? So remember to find the number in the middle of these, plug it in, and then we're going to do a frequency histogram. Y'all have done histograms before, just to hopefully this refreshes your memory, so you can go ahead and label these axes here. So this is going to be like 100 here, right? This is going to be 200, so on and so forth. So you're going to go through and here this is from 0 through 100 is 1. So I'm going to put, right, 0 through 100 is 1. So I'm going to put that down. From 100 to 200 is 3. So 100 to 200 is 3. That's 1, 2, 3. Right? Do you get the point? And then try the rest of this on your own. And then see me for any help that you need. Um, and this is just to check in to see where you're at. All right. I know this lesson was a little bit longer, but I want to make sure that you really understand and we're setting a firm foundation for statistics. Okay. Good luck. Let us know what you, well, let me know what you need. All right. Thank you.